Not too long ago, I had a dream. And in this dream, I received a word from the Lord. The dream goes like this. I was at the old house that I grew up in. And I remember some of my brothers were there as well. And I go to the backyard, and right next to the wooden fence, I find this cardboard box. And in this box are a bunch of books and CDs. And from out of the books, I pulled out this Bible, which was a translation that I had never seen before. Now, I don't recall what the translation was called. All I know is that the impression I got from it was completely unknown to me. So, I opened the Bible, in the dream that is, and I remember seeing that it was riddled with both Hebrew writing as well as English. Now, it's common knowledge that when you're dreaming, you cannot read. However, I read these words clearly. This one particular word. It was more like a double word, actually. Sorry, just straightening myself out. Trying to make myself more comfortable, that is. I'm kind of tired. So, where was I? Oh yeah, the word that I found in this Bible. This is the word that the Lord showed me. And it was confusing to me at first. And that word is Eliakim / Elohim. Eliakim / Elohim. Did not know what that meant. It kind of made me feel like the prophet Isaiah when the Lord showed him that one word in chapter 8 of the book of Isaiah. Maher Shalal Hashbaz. Look it up yourself, Isaiah chapter 8. That's where you'll find that. But for me, it was Eliakim Elohim. Eliakim Elohim. Eliakim was the name of Hezekiah's prime minister. And the name Eliakim means God will establish. And then, of course, Elohim, that's the name of the one true and eternal God. But even though I know what these words mean, I did not quite understand the meaning as to what God was actually trying to show me. So, because it's been bothering me for several days, I decided to do some reading from the Book of Kings, the second Book of Kings that is, as well as the Book of Isaiah. And I came across two passages, one in 2 Kings, the other in Isaiah, both accounts sharing the exact same story of how when the Assyrians and their king Sennacherib were preparing to besiege Jerusalem. And then you have the king's messenger, Rabshakeh, insulting the Jews and blaspheming God. And so, among the representatives of King Hezekiah at that time, Eliakim was among them. Now, there isn't much to be said about Eliakim in the passage. Just that he was one of the guys who heard the rantings and blasphemies of Rabshakeh. And so these Eliakim and the other guys that were with him, they went to King Hezekiah with their clothes torn because they were enraged against Rabshakeh. And so they told Hezekiah what this guy said, and then Hezekiah went to the prophet Isaiah. And so Isaiah, by the word of the Lord, and the Spirit of God that is, he told them what was going to happen with Rabshakeh and Sennacherib. And so, this is what I was reading from there. This is from Isaiah. I mean, this is also found in the exact same chapter of the book of 2 Kings, but I'm going to read it from Isaiah. Let's see. This is Isaiah chapter 37, verse 34. This is God speaking. By the way that he came, that is Sennacherib, by the way he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, says Adonai. Now, my inquiry to God, much like Eliakim and Hezekiah to Isaiah, my inquiry to God is, what shall happen with the Muslims that are coming into this country? See, the Muslims, they're not hiding what they're trying to do anymore. They are shouting off the rooftops that they're going to take over America. They're not hiding it. And yet, the fools in this country keep ignoring it. They're trying to be more tolerant and accepting of them, or they're just saying, oh, Sharia law is not coming. And yet that's exactly what the Muslims are planning to do. They're trying to replace the Constitution of the United States with Sharia. And so, like the Assyrians with Jerusalem, the Muslims are coming against America. And so, this is what God said to me as I was reading this. And I'll read it based on these words. By the way that the Muslims came, by the same shall they return, and they shall not come into this country, says Adonai. Well, sure, they're already coming into the country. Just like the Assyrians were surrounding Jerusalem. Seemed kind of hopeless. And it seems certain that the Muslims are definitely hell-bent on taking over my country, our country. But no, when the worst seems to happen, or at least when the worst part seems to be right at our door, the Muslims are going to go back the way they came. And then what happened to Sennacherib will also happen to the Muslims once they go back to where they came from. This is the extent, and I hope there's more to it, but this is so far what I have figured out from just those simple words, Eliakim Elohim. God will establish, God is sovereign. So just remember that. With the Muslim invasion going on in America now, always remember God is sovereign. And hope that the Muslims go back the way they came. The Lord Yeshua have mercy on all of them. So yeah, that's all I'm going to share for now.